Welcome to the Voyage of the Naughty Knots. My knots here, these talks are spontaneous talks, and they follow a thread of knots. They follow a path of questions, of knots, of metaphors, and I don't know where they're going to go in these talks. So that's why they kind of meander. They are an adventure. I'm on a path of discovery just like you. I don't know what we're going to find. But let's start with an idea, a metaphor I just had right on Facebook. And see if you can find me on there. Follow me. Splitting wood. Everybody, this is a great metaphor. It used to be everybody did it. You had to split wood to fuel your house. Now it's kind of like a luxury or a hobby. Or, in other words, you have a wood fireplace in your house and you want to split some wood for it, but you don't really need it because you got a furnace. So, but splitting wood, that is a metaphor for creating a serious knot into a naughty knot. It's a metaphor. Now, let's look at it. Now, it's a fact. Splitting wood is a fact. You can go outside, see somebody splitting wood. It's a material fact, you see. Splitting wood is what you can do as a fact. But as a metaphor, it can open your mind to the light of the world. So let's do that. So splitting wood is a fact. Splitting wood is a metaphor. What is the metaphor? The metaphor is that our consciousness, our thinking mind, our analytical mind, our analyzing mind is an axe that splits wood. Everything that appears as a whole, a one. We'll say a tree. So we look at that tree from consciousness, from our viewpoint of everything must have a use, and we say, well, what is the use of that tree? So we split the tree into into two halves. But that isn't the whole. So we're looking for the meaning of the tree by splitting the tree into two. But that's not complete, so we split the 2 into 4. But that's not complete, so we split the 4 into 8. And we keep going till we have a pile of wood, which used to be a whole tree. So what are we looking for? We're looking for a use. I want to use that tree to heat my house. But that's not what we're really looking for. What I'm really looking for is who I am. What is the meaning of me? So can I find the meaning of the world, of the world, by chopping it up into pieces? And then what do those pieces do? Well, they either create violence, a fire that burns down everything, or they either create warmth, creativity. So we chop up the world into logs of things to be useful, but whatever is useful is also its own opposite, destructive. Ever notice that? Everything that is useful can be destructive. If you take a donut, that donut is useful. It satisfies my hunger, my thirst for sugar. But if I eat too many of them, they're destructive. So whatever is useful is also its own opposite, destructive. Whatever is creative is also destructive. We create the atomic bomb. It becomes a nuclear generator, heats the houses, but it's also a bomb that can destroy everything. Whatever you create is also its opposite. So we get back to the tree. I split the tree of oneness into two. One half is good, the other half is bad. One half is useful, the other half is not useful. But these two go together because the one is always one. While we may chop the one into many pieces, every piece is still one. Now, this is not logical. We cannot grasp this by thinking. We cannot grasp it by analysis or AI. You have to see it in your own life. When you're chopping wood, that is a metaphor for using your analytic mind to chop everything into good and bad pieces. Of course, we chop anything to good and bad pieces so we can have the good, and we discard the useful. We discard what is not useless. That's the way the butcher works. We keep the steaks, throw away the innards and the guts. The analysis is a butcher's cleaver that splits everything into good and useful and discards the bad and not useful. But the tree is the one is never split. You cannot divide the one. You cannot divide the world into a good and bad world. You cannot divide anything into useful and not useful. You see the trap? The facts are facts, but the metaphor points to a meaning behind the facts that always reveals yourself to yourself. So chopping wood, if you're chopping wood, think metaphorically and think about how you chop everything into good and bad pieces. You chop your wife into good and bad wife. You chop your kids into good and bad kids. You chop your cat. You chop your boss. You chop everything into useful. I'll keep this and I'll get rid of that. It's not useful. Trump does that. Chops the world into good people, good white Christians, bad people, black people, brown people, immigrant people. Discard them. Trump is a butcher, a metaphor for the butcher, who cuts the whole America into two Americas, one good, one bad. Discard the bad, keep the good. So whatever you chop in two to get the good pieces, you also create the opposite, which is destruction. And the Hindus understand this. Shiva is the god of creation and destruction. Not creation or destruction, but creation is destruction. Destruction is creation. This is alchemy. This is not logic. This is not cause and effect. Creation is destruction. Destruction is creation. Divide the tree and divide the tree into logs. Divide the logs into pieces of wood, and you feed it into our fireplace. Create heat. That's useful. But at the same time, it's going to create, it can burn your house down. At the same time, it can create fumes that will gas you. So everything is divided into creation and destruction. But our analytical mind believes that we can separate the good from the bad, discard the good, throw it the bad, throw it away, never see it again. Put it in the landfill. Throw it in the ocean. It believes you can just have good with no bad. Our analytical thinking mind, our Western mind, believes that we can have good and no bad. We can win and not lose. That's Trumpism. Just have winning and winning. Get bored with winning, no losing. This is the illusion of the way we look at the world as being good and evil, and we can get rid of the evil, keep the good. Get rid of the incorrect, keep the correct. Get rid of the flaw, keep the perfect, you see. That is an illusion, because the very act of thinking and analysis divides the tree into two, pitting one half against the other. Okay, thanks for dropping in. Subscribe.